The main guy Rudo goes to the rich side of the city to pick up the disposable trash as he sees value in trash too and manages to escape the apostles' guards for trespassing. He comes back to the tribesfolk area and meets his crush Chiwa, while some other guys talk about how they try to keep their image clean but Rudo keeps ruining it, just like his murderer father. Rudo fixes the trash and sells it and tries giving Chiwa a toy rabbit for free, but she leaves. He returns home, where the guy who took him in when he was a kid, Regto, supports Rudo to bag Chiwa and sees the wound he received when escaping the apostles' guards, so treats his arm. Rudo's arms look like he fisted a Discord mod, while Regto remembers that Rudo's father got thrown into the pit because of the murder he committed, so tells Rudo to try not to go near crime life. Next day Rudo sees another criminal getting sent to the pit, then meets Chiwa who accidentally tells Rudo that she loves him, so Rudo gives her the toy rabbit and runs back to tell Regto about it. Suddenly he bumps into apostles' guards on the way. He goes back home, but finds out that Regto was getting killed by a masked guy. That guy beats Rudo up and leaves with a book, while Regto tells Rudo to change that poop but world, and dies. Suddenly the apostles appear and blame Rudo for the murder, so capture him and take him to the pit. Rudo sees Chiwa who also believes that Rudo killed Regto, then he sees the masked guy, but gets dropped into the pit. Though he survives the fall somehow and wakes up inside the pit, suddenly some monsters rise up and go after him, but he remembers he has to avenge Regto's death, so fights back using the trash pieces around, and kills 2 monsters. The third was the strongest. Suddenly another human, Engine, appears and gives Rudo a mask and tells him that those monsters are trash beasts who are made from trash and can regenerate if killed by ordinary stuff. Some trash beasts attack Engine, but he uses his umbrella to fight back and kills them all easily. Engine tells Rudo that going back up to the surface, which is called Sphere by people down there, is almost impossible because of multiple factors, but Rudo thinks that Engine was hiding a lot of stuff from him. Engine says that they are in the pit which is called Ground by the people there, and leaves him with some other humans who are surprised to meet Rudo as he was a Sphereite, a guy from Sphere. Though they chain him up in a truck to take him somewhere to sell his body parts, as people in Ground hate people of Sphere for throwing trash down which creates monsters and causes more troubles, so Sphereite's organs and limbs sell for a big price. Though Rudo eats a guy's fingers and some trash as they were still edible, then gets soul in his gloves that lets him break his chains. Engine sees from a distance and calls Rudo a giver type, as givers give life to objects to draw out their power. Rudo was able to use his giver power on more than one object which is rare, and defeats the guys there, so Engine says he'll answer everything he wants to know, and asks him to join his side, the cleaners. Engine tells someone about Rudo's natural talent and gets Rudo treated in a city where people are living normal lives. Engine tells Rudo that in Ground, there's anima, which is the energy that is generated because of emotions, and is the cause of trash beasts creation. Anima can also appear in the objects that are taken care of, like Rudo's gloves and Engine's umbrella, and those objects are called vital instruments. Only the anima in vital instruments can be used to defeat the anima in trash beasts, so the cleaners group, which has givers in it who possess vital instruments, fights those trash beasts. Engine doesn't know the way of going back up to the sphere but says that the boss of cleaners might know, then gives Rudo the money he made by selling Rudo's clothes and leaves for some time. A cat steals Rudo's money but he uses the staff of a guy, Nijiku, to get the money back, but Nijiku gets his staff back and calls that staff his treasure, lovely assist staff, as he is a giver too. He's also from the cleaners group and is sent by Engine to train Rudo, so Rudo remembers Regto's words and tries to de-escalate the situation, but Nijiku thinks he was just trolling and gets mad. Rudo uses a plunger as a vital instrument to fight back, which still had liquid shit on it somehow, and ends up putting it on Nijiku's clothes. Engine picks them up and finds out about the poop thing, while another cleaner, Ryo, is also in the car. Engine takes them to Cleaners HQ, where he introduces him to the lesbian receptionist, Semiu, who kills 2 flies with a fork and checks Rudo's stats with her vital instrument, her glasses, but sees something and keeps it hidden. The boss was away for some time so Rudo can't get hired until then, so Ryo asks him to tag along with her as a trainee. Semiu tells Rudo that the ground is divided into safe zones where people can live, and polluted zones where garbage is all gathered and trash beasts live, while Rudo had spawned in a polluted zone called No Man's Land where people can die in 15 minutes without a mask. Some supporters, who aren't givers, also come with Rudo and Ryo for a mission, where some small weak trash beasts are trying to break through the barricade. Suddenly a giant trash beast also appears, so Ryo uses her scissor as her vital instrument, the Ripper, and mainly uses her feet to use it to fight. One of the supporters, Gris, uses raw strength to send the trash beasts at Ryo, and they defeat all the small one, leaving the giant one for Ryo. Rudo saves one of the supporters but couldn't figure out how his powers work, but Ryo comes back and shows that the giant trash beast is just regenerating even after getting sliced in half by her vital instrument. She fights him more and finds a weak spot where she hits and defeats the trash beast, and finds out that it was a vital instrument that was powering that trash beast, which was new to them too. Ryo hosts a welcome party for Rudo to use it as an excuse to chill around, while Rudo feels bad for not figuring out his giver ability, so Gris tells him that saving Follow back then was the first step, and soon he'll figure things out. Rudo then joins others for the party, and a guy Gob starts graffitiing. Later Semiu sends Nijiku, Rudo, Gris, Follow, and some supporters to get the stolen cargo of a merchant back from a trash beast, and is sending Rudo too, as that merchant is also a Sphereite who came from Sphere like he did. They go to the location, where the person who is taking care of the Sphereite takes them to where the trash beast is currently staying, but it was a trap and they all fall into a hole. That person turns into mud, while 2 members of a bandit group, the Raiders, appear to take Rudo as he's a Sphereite who's also a giver. Nijiku sends everyone away to fight them, while they reveal that they only want to ask Rudo what type of place the sphere is, not sell him. The female one uses her vital instrument to create mud puppets, while Kanza hides in those puppets to land strong hits. Suddenly Nijiku hits his lovely assist staff on the ground to find the real Kanza using waves, and hits him and the female in one attack to defeat them. Suddenly a frontline member of the Raiders, Jabber, appears on his side. Rudo's side finds an exit and sends some members up to call for backup. Suddenly Jabber appears as he used his venom to defeat Nijiku and goes after Rudo, but Gris fight him. Jabber stabs Gris, which reminds Rudo of Regto who died, which gives him a power-up to use his giver ability to full potential. His vital instrument, his gloves, have the ability to bring out the full worth of the objects outside, which turns Jabber on, so he decides to fight Rudo a bit before taking him back to Raiders base. Rudo dodges Jabber's attacks without moving a step from where he was standing, and only uses his fists to fight Jabber, as the object he's using is Gris's talisman who only fights with his his fists. The Eye of Talisman keeps freezing Jabber's movements when he gets near Ruto, which lets Ruto keep punching him, but Jabber figures out that the talisman only freezes the movements of something that has hostile intentions, so stabs himself with his vital instrument, Munkra, to send the neurotoxin in his body to go berserk to attack everything around, which doesn't let the talisman sense the hostility to freeze him, as the hostility wasn't directed to Ruto alone. Jabber starts winning the fight slowly. Suddenly Nejiku appears and attacks Ruto with a plan that makes the talisman send him away from Ruto, which lets him hit Jabber with his lovely assist staff. Both work together and keep hitting Jabber to defeat him, but the talisman turns into dust, while Nejiku notices a slash on Ruto's back from Jabber that stops his body from moving. Jabber uses the left-hand Munkra to get back in the normal state, then hits Nejiku with the right-hand Munkra to poison him again, and takes Ruto away. He takes Ruto to the upper floor, but the building gets cut off by Rio's Reaper. Suddenly Engine hits Jabber with his umbrella to make him let go of Ruto, as he pulled up with the other cleaners. Jabber gets hard, and gets ready to fight Rio, Engine, Tamzi and Delman. Suddenly another raider, Chthoni, appears and tells Jabber to return, and says that the boss had a very big smile, which makes Jabber give up and accept to go back. He looks at the pattern on Ruto's glove and recognizes it, calling it Ceres, then leaves using Chthoni's vital instrument, a manhole. Gris gets healed by a cleaner, Ishia, while the boss of the cleaners, Arca Corvus, returns to the HQ and accepts Ruto as a cleaner, then tells Ruto that there's a border between ground and sphere, which you have to cross to go around to the other side, and tells him about a woman who lives near the border in no man's land, and has seen some people who have successfully crossed the border, so Ruto has to find those people to ask them their ways. Ruto gets a cleaner uniform and starts going to find the border, but Engine stops him as it's not the final arc yet, and tells him to stay aware as raiders are after him too. Ruto then tells Rio that sweet food was only for rich people in sphere, so she shows him sweet food there, which cleaners buy from a group of people called Vianders, so he eats until he turns fat. Later Nejiku tests his vital instrument and finds out he can only use his ability on trash, not on things that are already fine. Suddenly Ruto nosebleeds as his body can't keep up with his vital instrument's powers. He took care of his gloves for a very long time, and then used them as vital instrument, so they have a lot of power stored in them. Earlier the talisman turned into dust after being used, so they figure out that Ruto's gloves can use a trash as a weapon until it reaches its peak, and when Ruto feels like he's done using that trash retires and turns into dust. Rio then tells Ruto to also think of a name for his vital instrument, like hers is Reaper, Engine's is Umbreaker, and Nejiku's is Lovely Assist Staff. Later Ruto finds out that there's an artist in Cleaner's HQ who makes custom masks and clothes for everyone. Then Engine shows that he, Rio, Nejiku, Tamzi, Delman, Gris, Follow and Tamse will go with him to find the woman in no man's land who saw the people leaving and entering the ground and sphere. Delman hypes everyone up, then they go to Canvas Town first to get a spell drawn on Ruto by Gob to keep him safe in the polluted zone, as his mask hasn't been made yet. Canvas Town is also covered in a dome to keep people protected from trash beasts and from the trash that gets dropped there from sphere, while there's a spell on the entrance that only lets people with good intentions in. They meet the mayor of the town, who takes them to Gob, who died earlier that morning, as he got body pollution because of going to polluted zones without a mask so many times to paint. Gob chose a kid, Remlin, as his successor by passing on his vital instrument, as they were like siblings. Though Remlin celebrates the life of Gob by turning spray canes into fireworks using Gob's vital instrument, instead of getting sad about it. Later Remlin draws spells on their backs to reduce the damage on them from one major hit, and they find out that Remlin can turn the vital instrument into any brush or tool according to what they want to use it for. Then they go back to Cleaner's HQ, where August gives Ruto his custom mask, the full face, then he wears the choker that lets you talk to people who share their blood with you, and they all go to Penta, a desert in no man's land. Some trash beasts appear, so the cleaners fight them, while Ruto wears his mask and has named his gloves 3R, and beats up the last trash beast by turning a keyboard into his weapon. Suddenly the no man's land woman, Amo, appears and finds out they want to meet her, so takes them to her house where the toxic gas from outside cannot get in, and asks them their type and their partner. Though when Engine says they only want to know how to go to sphere, she gets mad as they only want to use her. Suddenly Delman shoot Engine with his vital instrument, Okiku Nare, that releases water that grows the fluid inside the body, like how plants grow, but if the fluid grows too much, the body can pop like a water balloon. Suddenly Ruto starts hallucinating that he's back in the sphere where Chiwa still loves him, so Amo reveals that her giver ability lets her create a smell that reminds people of the happy times, and replaces herself with the person whom her target used to love, which lets her get people under her control like she did to Delman. Suddenly Ruto hallucinates that the apostles are trying to attack Chiwa, and ends up attacking Tamzi and Nejiku, while Amo gets Rio and Follow under her control too. Suddenly Tamzi uses his vital instrument, Tokshin, to trap all four of them in a winding, and spins it like a drill to make them all crash into the bottommost floor to get fatal damage. Though they're all fine as the one fatal damage protection spell which Remlin drew on them earlier worked, while Engine takes her one shoe away as she needs both of her shoes as her vital instrument to use her giver ability. They all wear their masks and Amo wears her bow shoes back. Suddenly Ruto takes his mask off and starts punching her face until he knocks her unconscious. Engine takes him away, so Ruto tells him that he was told to not fight people back no matter what they say to him to avoid bigger conflicts, but after coming to the ground he realized he has to fight for himself to survive, which made him lose control in every fight as he was storing the anger inside for so long. But Engine says that now that he has realized what's wrong, he should work on it by apologizing to Amo and by subscribing to the channel. Finally, Tume treats Amo and tells her that she'll talk about romance to her, so Amo ends up saying that her mother is the reason she met her first love, then got her vital instrument, and then saw the angel that goes between the sphere and the ground.